Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining in. Today is Saturday, 6 p.m., 10th of September, 2022. And today's topic is how to generate alpha. Let me share my presentation. Let me give you a context of this program, how to generate alpha. Background. I read several books in the last 10 years on this subject, especially 3 years back. I read Richer, Wiser, Happier. I read Gautam Bad, Joys of Compounding. I read Warren Buffett's 800-page, 1,000-page book written by Alice. Then I read a lot of books. Peter Lynch, I read Beating the Street Again. I read, I don't even remember the names of how many books I read in the last 10 years, especially 3 years, 4 years ago. I read during the COVID period also. I reread those books, and then I formed an opinion how one can generate alpha. So this presentation which I'm doing today is not just like that. There's a lot of reading, a lot of understanding, a lot of science behind this presentation which I'm doing today to you. Some of you will be surprised how simple it is. Some of you will be surprised how tough it is. And some of you, it will be a lifelong understanding of whether you can generate alpha or not. If yes, how. The following is the summary of my learning, and I will take not more than 8 to 10 minutes maybe to complete this program. And then I will do the launch and I will take your questions. Are you ready? Please write yes in the chat box. Let me see how many of you can write yes in the chat box. How to generate alpha. Brilliant. So alpha, the strategy, number one strategy is, which I have understood, and I will give you 4 strategies to generate alpha in the portfolio. All of you are mutual fund distributors. And if you get this message by me straight, it will save you a lot of time. The first learning I have, and these are my disclaimer, is ये मेरी learning है. दुनिया इससे differ कर सकती है. Mutual fund distributor, RIAs, fund managers differ कर सकते हैं. This is my thought as a mutual fund distributor and as an investor. Keep cash and deploy only during market crash. My understanding is that if you want to generate alpha, if you want to make money, you can invest whenever you get money. So some big fund managers will always tell you that, if you get dividends 10 o'clock in the morning, you should invest, do not time the market. But my learning is that if you want to generate alpha, all big people in the world, all multi-billionaires who have made money from the stock market, time the market. And they how do they time the market? They keep cash and deploy only during market crash. It looks very simple, but it is very tough. And sometimes you will have to keep cash for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years until the crash happens. In Indian market, the crash happens every 7-8 years by 50%. How many of you have the temperament? कितना wait कर सकते हैं आप? और क्रैश होने के पहले हम रीइन्वेस्ट कर देते हैं, पैसे को वापस से डेट फंड से या कैश से निकाल करके इन्वेस्ट कर देते हैं और ऊपर के रेट में ले लेते हैं. सो दिखने में बड़ी आसान है ये स्ट्रेटजी, लेकिन उतनी आसान स्ट्रेटजी नहीं है. And please give your opinion in the chat box also, whether you agree or disagree. As I keep on talking about alpha 1, 2, 3, 4. This is alpha 1. So please write 1 dash agree, 1 dash disagree, and it's all okay. Keep cash. So if you are an investor, one of the learning is that do not invest the moment you have cash. If you want to generate alpha, if you want to beat index, you have to keep cash. And Warren Buffett, if you read, he clearly mentions we have a lot of cash and we know how badly it hurts, but we also know how beautiful it is, how much alpha we can generate and how much value we can create out of cash, because we buy when no one has cash, because we have cash and we keep it for years. This is my point number 1, alpha number 1. Let's talk about alpha 2. Let's see what it is. This is the second strategy which I will tell you. The second strategy is to have concentrated portfolio. For example, if you want to create alpha, you should have investment only in 5 or 10 stocks, or maybe 4 mutual fund diversified scheme, or focused fund, or sectoral fund. The moment you have 30 stocks, 300 stocks, 3,000 stocks, it is not a concentrated portfolio. So big people, if you see Money Control and if you see some of the big investors of India, you will find their names of even Rakesh Jhunjhunwala to somebody who's having a 200 crore portfolio. You will notice they have investment only in 3 company, 5 company, 10 company, most of them. So it is very concentrated portfolio. And this is one of the reasons why people create alpha. The problem with concentrated portfolio is you have to be a very good person who can research very well research. या तो आपकी रिसर्च इतनी स्ट्रांग होनी चाहिए कि आप जो पोर्टफोलियो बना रहे हैं खुद के लिए या अपने क्लाइंट के लिए, दैट कैन एब्सोल्युटली बीट द मार्केट, और या फिर आपको भगवान के सामने हाथ जोड़ के प्रे करना होगा कि मेरा कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड पोर्टफोलियो ये चल जाए, बिकॉज अगर ये नहीं चला तो अल्फा छोड़ो, आपको मार्केट रिटर्न भी नहीं आने वाला, तकलीफ होने वाली, पैसे खराब हो जाएंगे आप. So this is not very easy. So the way to make money in concentrated portfolio is that you should have concentration only if you do a lot of research. If your portfolio is not backed by research, and you have to do research of 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, before that you cannot create concentrated portfolios. So this is alpha number 2. You can do very well if you create concentrated portfolios, but research has to be the backbone of concentrated portfolio. Let's look at alpha number 3. This is absolutely the opposite of the second alpha number 2, which is concentrated portfolio, and this is diversified portfolio and hold forever. This is, again, my disclaimer is that these are my personal opinion. You may accept it, you may reject it, and do whatever works for you. Now, and different people have different behavior, different temperament, different understanding. So all these 4 strategies will work, but you have to be the best in that strategy. For example, Rohit Sharma can play a fantastic hook shot, but maybe, or Surya Kumar Yadav can play a fantastic hook shot. But when it comes to sweep shot, maybe Mohinder Amarnath was the best and not Rohit Sharma, or may not be Surya Kumar Yadav. I don't know. So each batsman has its own strength. Everybody cannot play the sweep shot. Everybody cannot play the pull shot. So do whatever you are best at. So all these strategies are good. The strategy number 3, diversified portfolio, means, and to your surprise, I will tell you, this is the strategy applied by Berkshire Hathaway. In all the training programs or everywhere else, or you will read that Berkshire Hathaway talks about concentrated portfolio, but it is not the case. The case of Berkshire Hathaway is that they have a concentrated portfolio where they have a lot of money made, but that concentrated portfolio is a result of a diversified portfolio of thousands and thousands of stock. I probably think they might be holding more than 2,000 stocks in their portfolio, and out of which only 10, 15 have given them fantastic return over the last 50 years. But that 10 stock is a result of holding 2,000 stocks. So, and never sell it. The moment you have a diversified portfolio, you can still create alpha, a lot of alpha, if you never sell it. Let the losers remain in the portfolio for long, but never sell the winners. Because if you have 100 stocks, 200 stocks, 100 mutual fund scheme, 300 mutual fund schemes, some of them will not do well. But those which will do well over 10, 20, 30, 40 years will do so well that they will adjust and accommodate the losses given to you by other investments, which are not doing well. So this is the strategy also which works very well. And I think mutual fund distributors can work on this strategy, that because we are not very good at research of identifying individual companies, you have to go for diversified portfolio. And the only way you can make money into diversified portfolio is not to sell your winners, stay with the winners. Another example is, I read in a book by Morgan Housel, Psychology of Money. There was an art collector, and over the years, he bought a lot of art, maybe 500 art, 1,000 art, 200 pieces of art. And suddenly, some of the arts he bought of the Picassos or the other Michelangelos and others, his portfolio went into billions of dollars. It was not because he knew that Picasso will do well or Michelangelo will do well. He just bought and never sold any of them ever. So many of them, hundreds of them, were useless and no value, but some of them went up to 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, and that is the way you create alpha in the portfolio. Many people do not believe in diversified portfolio creating alpha, but the key here is to hold forever or as long as you can a diversified portfolio. and some of the winners will give you alpha. And finally, fourth, everyone knows it, and I will not spend much time. This is the simplest of all. This is the best, and which I use in my portfolio, and I suggest all of us should do that. It is the simplest, and all of you know this. This is do SIP. I have understood that somebody who is doing rupee cost averaging over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years will always be in a position and holds a very good chance to develop and to create alpha, to generate alpha in the portfolio. Whether it is mutual fund portfolio or regular investments in any other investment options that you have in equity markets, SIP is a no-brainer. So if you can't do concentrated portfolio, if you can't do diversified portfolio, if you can't keep cash for long, just do SIP for yourself as well as your clients. This is the simplest of the strategy. So I will go back and give you a very brief of 4 strategies. Keep cash and deploy only during market crash. Second is having a concentrated, well-researched portfolio, because if you don't have a well-researched, concentrated portfolio, it can backfire. If you have a 10 stock portfolio or 10 mutual fund portfolio and 6 out of 10 is not doing well, you are dead. In a diversified portfolio, you can accommodate those losers. And so the idea number 3 is diversified portfolio and hold forever. Example, Berkshire Hathaway. And the 4th alpha creating strategy is to do SIP. Now a quick bite, a little more. Index fund can never create alpha. And I'm almost on the closing. Next 1 minute, I will close. I need your feedback on the chat box. How did you like this program, so that I can read and answer some of those questions? Index fund can never create alpha. It doesn't mean that I don't recommend index fund. Index funds are good, but they will never create alpha naturally, because they will not beat the index, because there is a tracking error and a cost of fund. Idea number 2, eliminating losers is the key to creating alpha. So if you don't buy stocks or mutual funds which are not creating wealth, eroding wealth, if you can eliminate, you can create alpha, but this is not easy. Technicals, people trade on technicals. Technicals at best, in my opinion, can make you some money at some point of time, but it can never create wealth. Never. थोड़ा जीतेंगे, थोड़ा हारेंगे, थोड़ा बनाएंगे, थोड़ा खोएंगे, चलता रहेगा, मजा आएगा, लेकिन wealth create technical से कभी नहीं होती. And this is the final slide I want to show you. And this is a big one. I follow this, and I advise my clients to follow this. Maximum alpha. How can you generate maximum alpha in your life? And if you like it, this is a statement which I'm giving you. I need a lot of your comments in the chat box. And this is for you also to understand what I'm going to say in the next one line. And also you should explain this one-liner to all your clients so that you can achieve this. Market returns plus freedom of time is equal to maximum alpha. There is no need to beat the market, because the moment you try to beat the market with active investing, active strategy, active meeting, active calls, it kills a lot of your time, gives you a lot of stress, and it may not even happen. So even if you're getting index return, even if you're getting market return as an investor, or you're giving it to your clients, market returns plus freedom of time. This is maximum alpha to MFDs. This is maximum alpha to investors. I apply this strategy. I do not try to beat the market. If the only way I want to create alpha is to apply one of those 4 strategies. And my best strategy is strategy number 4, do SIP, and strategy number 1. I am not good in concentrated portfolio. So a part of my alpha creation strategy is do SIP for myself and my clients. Part of my strategy is to keep cash and apply only when the markets crash. And for some clients, we have diversified portfolio, buy and hold. These are the 3 strategies I apply for creating alpha. And I believe that I do not spend much time. Market returns plus freedom of time for me is the maximum alpha that I have. With this, I will say thank you so much. Take care. All the best.